presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Al in Tampa. Hey, Al, what's going on?
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, if your listeners don't get the gold report, they're missing out. I mean, with your gold report, you just printing money. I love it.
You're my best ad out there, Al. Let's go to Jeff in New Jersey. Hey, Jeff, what's going on?
Great. Hey, listen, I was calling to thank you. A few weeks ago, you were prompting on your show to fill out that $10,000 grant.
Yes.
So I filled it out, and just a couple days ago, I found $1,000 in my business checking account.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
And I owe it to you, because if it wasn't for your prompting, I would have just assumed, no way I would have gotten anything. So I wanted to thank you.
No, we appreciate you growling a problem with us here.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everybody? This is Jacob Shoup. You watch the Tom O'Brien Show. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Man, another kind of down day, right? We started with a big dump in the morning, kind of come back up a little bit, and the weakness just kind of persisted. Mainly looking at SPX, looking at Tesla. This is a great example, making new recent lows, trading right below 300. You're trading at 290. You touched below 290 for a little bit. I think you had a low today of 289. You had 288.88. Okay, and you bounce off that. You come back up. This is kind of how you're looking at it, right? If your portfolio is getting eviscerated right now, mine has definitely not been doing fantastic. Now, of course, I had a lot of options out there, and that kind of had a wrench thrown in it. But there are also some ways that it's doing very well, right? And the stocks that are doing poorly are mainly these really rapid momentum growth stocks, right? And so if you're red the entire way through, it might be time to kind of sit there and reevaluate what you're invested in, why you're invested in it, and maybe kind of pivot. The Chinese stocks have been doing quite well. Nebius is actually doing okay today, which is a little bit strange. Looking at Rheinmetall, that's off a little bit today, but still floating up some, right? We're not off really that much. Baba doing another massive move. I say massive, looking at the rest of the kind of market here, you have 3.55%. Again, wouldn't call that necessarily massive, but it's just nice having some kind of green in the portfolio. Man, there's a lot to talk about today. We actually are going to be joined by Basil Chapman, which is fantastic. We're going to have him on in the second segment. Let's take a look at what we got going on right now. You got the SPY off about 0.15% at 593. You got the composite flipping red there, up about 0.08% at 19,011. Broadcom is actually, in NVIDIA, Broadcom, all doing very well. Let's see what we're doing today. Broadcom is up almost 4%. I'm still, regardless of what NVIDIA does, Broadcom is going to, again, I believe, continue getting orders, right? Because they're going to have these specialized ASICs, and that's going to be very necessary to run AI. We're getting a little bit of an insight as well how AI might start getting applied here sooner rather than later. Of course, with Amazon, they're looking to dump a bunch of money into automating their warehouses. We can look at some robotics companies. I was talking about that a little bit in the den. You have Meta's glasses with Ray-Ban have done unbelievably well. Soared 210% year over year in 2024. Mainly driven, this is just smart glasses in general, but mainly driven by Ray-Ban and the Meta crossover, which is pretty insane. These do have NPUs, which is crazy, and data processing units. These are pretty high-tech little guys here. So that's something kind of interesting to see. And then I could definitely see the application in automation of warehouses, right? And you're talking about companies that are spending, Amazon is really the one that benefits a lot from this, right? It's such a large CapEx, cutting costs in the warehouse is massive. You look at things like RDCM. When you're thinking warehouse as well, seriously, start thinking about AIoT, right? I think that is massive. That's artificial internet, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. RDCM apparently has a native kind of anomaly detection system on their SCADA systems, which I think is massive. We're looking at SYM. Electronics is interesting. I think they have at least they have the potential to get exposure in this realm. We were speaking about these guys for a while ago, and nothing's really happened except what you would say is a just consistent downdraft in it. So this is something I want to take a look at a little bit closer going forward to see if they're going to be able to capitalize on that market. Of course, Euro defense is massive. We're looking at EUAD. This has done very well recently, trading right now at $29.36, kind of flat as it stands right now, but it was up a little bit earlier today. Let's see. Of course, Rolls-Royce is getting a lot of attention as well, which surprisingly, is not surprisingly. I mean, if you know, but very big defense stock. Not just the cars, right? Big on engines, of course, for jets. So this is massive, at least if you're looking to get exposure in European defense. Trading up 1.39% at 8.05. Even with, we're going to do the NVIDIA stream today, by the way. Okay, so after this show, I got to get some stuff set up, but I'm going to hop on my laptop here, and we'll be definitely trying to stream to YouTube, definitely in the den on Discord. So get in there if you're not in there yet. You can do that, again, by going to tfnn.com/services. It's right up there on the top row. You have NVIDIA actually trading up 2.27%. Does this save the market? I mean, you're looking at it, right? There's obviously some bullish kind of opinion on NVIDIA here if you're trading up 2.29%, but you're still seeing that major sell-off in these hyper-growth stocks, right? And again, traversing back to those November levels, a little bit around from when Trump won. Again, I think you still have a little bit more to go, definitely in Tesla. I'm eyeing 250 for Tesla. Of course, we had those in May, the puts. You're trading off 4.31% at 289.77. On that same kind of realm, let's look at SMCI. So it's interesting that this is so suppressed, right? So you kind of have this bullish, you say, Jacob, it's up 11.79%. It's had every reason to go way higher than this after actually reporting the 10K, actually publishing the 10K. We're going to talk about, if you read Twitter, this is kind of my issue sometimes with these perma bulls in retail. I mean, the numbers were not horrible, right? But keep in mind, these guys just got a bunch of debt to continue operations, low margin, and we'll read through a little bit of their 10K after we have Basil on. They acknowledge there are vast deficiencies in their accounting system, and they have taken no actions in remediating those as of now. Now, everyone's like, oh, well, they're hiring for positions now. That is still freaky, The fact that NVIDIA's up today, I think people are a little bit bullish on it. The fact that SMC is not running a little bit higher gives me some pause on this equity. Now, we were long. We closed out of those 37 strike calls. I did have some push just to see what happened. Those are most likely going to expire worthless. That's fine because we're still green overall. But you're trading up right now 11.67%. And I mean, this was 58.28. You've come all the way down to $50 right now. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back with Basil Chapman.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Taking a look right now, you have the SPY off about 0.2%, Composite off about 0.11%, Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.51%. Those Russell futures off about 0.22%. Man, looking at Solventum Corporation, okay, healthcare company. They just sold their purification and filtration business. That's, of course, for water to Thermo Fisher Scientific. That gave them a nice chunk of money. I think it's about $4.1 billion to the upside here. There's a reason why I'm talking about these guys here. Let's take a look at Hood as well. Had, somewhat of a sell-off of everything. We have a nice bounce going on today, up 5.29%. Oh boy. The reason why I'm talking about this is because these are some equities that Basil Chapman looks at. Again, I love the opening call newsletter. That is one that I read religiously. You have the newsletter tab here right on TFNN.com. If you go ahead and go over there, you're going to see on that first column, second row, the opening call newsletter by Basil Chapman. I strongly recommend checking this out, not only because it's a fantastic newsletter, but you also get a fantastic long-form video for the weekend. And then additionally, you get access to all of Basil Chapman's subscriber webinars. He just did one in November about sector rotations. And man, oh man, are we about to see something like that. He is calling in from the land down under. Basil, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Jacob. How are you?
Doing well. So glad we could get you on. Always like having you on, so it's nice we could get. Yeah, I know the tech was a pain. I was getting frustrated trying to figure it out as well. Like you said in the den, when it works, it's fantastic, and when it doesn't, it is just mind-numbing. So, Basil, what are we looking at right now?
Sometimes it's just one click that you just don't get right. And
I know.
If you do get it right, you're on. Okay,
totally
we're
understood.
on. Here we go.
Let's look at it.
So I'll go backwards. So first of all, Solventum is something I've spoken to as a stock that I've spoken to you about for quite a while. We've been long since around the 57 level. This is way back in the fall of 2024. I've loved it. We've had really good trades with it. We've also had it as a position that I wanted to have it as a core position, thinking that the 96.05 high that was made in March of 2024 had a really good chance of being tested in 2025. And it was just going sideways in the 75 area. And then out of the blue, well, it wasn't out of the blue. It was mentioned earlier in the month, but then all of a sudden it came through. So as you said, TMO, which is Thermo Fisher Dynamic, here in the Massachusetts area. I used to always pass them at Route 128 here in the Boston area and the Waltham area. And it's a fantastic company. Thermo Fisher, I remember there was the CEO decades ago, just everything he did, he bought the right companies, he built it up, and it's a fantastic company. Anyway, so Solventum as you said, had one of the parts bought by Thermo Fisher, so it's had a really good bounce and is trading now at 83. So that's a stock that we've been holding, haven't wanted to do anything other than add to it, which we've done periodically, and here it is acting very well. But most importantly, what I wanted to mention is, as you know, since December into January, I've been talking about this and saying that there's a really good chance that the tech sector could start to see the upside being limited.
Yes.
But it also meant in many ways, if you look at the overall picture, that the key market indices could have limited upside. They could make new all-time highs, but from that area, I think we're going to go sideways into March, and I'm anticipating there's a good chance that we get the traditional March, it's usually March or October low, and then that's going to be the big test. So where it comes from is going to be difficult to see right now. I think I need Friday's close to give me the weekly. But look, here's the chart. Here's the Dow. Let me just get the arrow. There it is. Here's the Dow. It's made a 50% retracement. It went to 45,054. It was a double top from the 45,073 high that was made at the end of December, beginning of January. So these double tops are really quite potent. You've got to look at them with great respect, because very often that becomes, I've got the pattern called the dreaded H or the reverse Y, where either the double bottom gets tested or the double top gets tested. So here's but look, the weekly chart, the 9-period moving average is still holding really well. The monthly chart still looks very good.
Yes.
So I've had a sell signal going to a sell mode. We've been short. We actually have a core long position from way down on the 13th of January at the exact low. And it made that fourth highest peak D in the daily chart at 45,054. It then made the H pattern, which is really two arches. I call it the lowercase h that goes to a lowercase m pattern. So we've got a 2x short as a trading position, and we're staying with that position for now. But you can see with everything that's going on, we really aren't down from 45,054 to this 42,000 points. It's really not a big deal yet. So this is going to be something to monitor, but the weekly chart is still very strong. And if I go look, even the S&P, which we actually are short, the S&P, the weekly chart is really still very good. And even with everything that's going on right here, it's only now that the 9-period moving average in the daily chart has gone negative. So these are all shorter-term trades. And if you are looking at the volatility index, let me just get that for the moment right here. Look at this. Here's the volatility index. It's rallied, and it is in the higher range. And this is telling me, and I drawn this the other day, and I said to subscribers, I suspect, based on this particular pattern that I'm looking at here, that there's an arch formation at the low that was made around about December the 23rd. Yep. We're coming in to test that, and that this is the week that we should see a big spike in the volatility index, which is the reason why we wanted to be short and why. And now I can go to the other positions that I wanted to talk about. You had mentioned Hood, why we wanted to take profits on stocks that we got at much lower lows. So we want to keep those core positions. I was actually just about to get on the plane on that Wednesday. Wednesday, what was that? That was the 13th of February, and I said in our long position, which was at the almost exact low of August in Hood, down in the 16s, we want to take a little bit more off right here if there's a gap up, especially if there's a gap up on earnings, and there was a gap up. So we got out at about 62 or 63 on a small position because we want to keep our core, and the all-time high was 66.91. So you can see it's now pulled back, but I like Hood, and I've put it together as an indicator of where possibly gold is going and Bitcoin. So if you look at Bitcoin, I've been negative Bitcoin for a while. We've been long for quite some time. We've kept our core position. Let me just get the BTC. There it is. And look, it's pulled back very sharply. It went to 110,975. There's that arch formation, the dreaded H, and it took it out sharply in the weekly chart and the daily chart. I think Bitcoin's going to have a bit of a breather here. And I'll just go to gold for the moment because gold has held extremely well. It's right here at a bit of a toppy area, just shorter term. But if you look at the daily chart, still very strong. Look at the weekly chart. Look at the 9-period moving average, that green line above the 14. And the price is still way above the green line. And the MACD is good and stochastics at 88%. So out of the different sectors, gold has so far held extremely well.
Yeah.
So I'd also mention to you that AIQ, which is the Artificial Intelligence Global X ETF, was getting a little bit toppy. We've been long for quite a while, a really long time. And it went to the 42.78 high. Now it's digesting gains. But even in the weekly chart, it is still holding well.
Sure. Well, Basil, if you want to hold right there, we can go into the next segment.
Okay, very good.
Fantastic. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back with Basil Chapman after this break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, reversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento for the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are February 14th and 28th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching The Tom O'Brien Show. We are joined right now by Basil Chapman. Basil is the author of the Opening Call newsletter. Strongly recommend checking that out. Additionally, he is the host of the Tiger Technicians Hour on every day the market is open at 10 a.m. Eastern Time right here on TFNN. Basil, take a look at AIQ. I know some toppiness in this guy as well.
Well, this is interesting because if you look at the, in Chapman methodology, a buy signal upgraded to a buy mode invariably goes to 4 higher peaks. That means it should go to a peak A first, then peak B, a higher high, then a higher C, peak C, and then a D. D is where other things can happen. But look, this is the candle for February. And so far, yes, we're almost at the low of the candle, and we've only got a couple of days left. But this is still very good action. So my point here is that if we are going to have a much greater decline, it's so far we've used time and just a little price in many areas. But a lot of the weekly and the monthly charts are still looking very good. Look, here's ARKK. We've taken really nice profits. We had this a couple of times. This is Kathy Wood. It's her innovation fund. ARKK is the symbol. I need to clarify just before, I didn't mention Hood was Robin Hood. And the reason why I mentioned Robin Hood and gold, because they are the players in Robin Hood that really go for the gold stocks when they're moving, and they go for the Bitcoin. And I think that's the reason why I think I'm watching it very closely, because Robin Hood has pulled back quite sharply. Yes. And you've got Bitcoin, but gold has held well. So I just wanted to clarify that. So ARKK went to 68.43. We've been taking profits on small positions. We're trying to keep our core position. And then we finally got stopped out of the last core position for a gain. And now we're waiting, because these are areas that I think are still going to work in 2025. So this is the reason I like this very much, is because it's in the areas that have really been beaten down just terribly. And now some of them are starting to come back, and she did everything wrong on the way down. But I think on this 2025 is going to be the year that she does much better on this particular this particular fund. Then I wanted to also mention that the TLT, and I just discussed this briefly recently, but it was still a work in progress, because since I would say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, when markets pull back, when they have very sharp corrections, this is going all the way back to the 1987 crash, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The bonds saw the money come flowing in, and stocks went down. But over the last 5 years, it's been the exact opposite, because when the market went down, bonds went down and yields went up. This is the first time we're looking at the bonds going up and yields coming down as the market's digesting. So if that's true, this is the first time that we've gone back to, I wouldn't say traditional, because we really don't know if it's traditional, but it's kind of what used to happen a lot for 40 years in the great bull market of bonds. Right. So this means I need to watch this very closely, because how does this mean that I'm going to Toll Brothers. Does this mean that the real estate area, home builders, are going to do well? Well, this is very interesting, because they've had spectacular gains. So I think that they're having their normal decline. That's the home builders. So that makes, on the one hand, you've got market pulling back, yields coming down, bonds going higher, but it isn't impacting positively the home builders. So this is an area I think they are very overbought, and those home builders could continue to pull back. Definitely. So that's that one area. Then there's something else that I wanted to talk about. I wrote down here. Within the context of all these stocks like Salesforce, and here in Sydney, Australia, there's a huge, one of the tallest skyscrapers is Salesforce. Okay. They're just finishing work on that building. And you can see it's pulling back very sharply. Now, I spoke about double tops. Look at this. 357 was the high on the 7th of January. And but the high that was made back on December the 6th was 369. Let me just double check that. I think it's a 6. Yeah, there's a high and there's a double top you can see in that weekly chart. So I respect these double tops, even in stocks that have been absolutely fantastic, and Salesforce has been really a great winner and a great company, but I think they're pulling back. So when we're looking overall, if you're looking at the stocks like Salesforce, if you're looking at Amazon starting to pull back, but it feels like it's a sharp move in Amazon. But actually, if you look at the weekly chart, the 9 is still above the 14. It's holding quite nicely. It made a top in the 240s, trading right now at 213. So there's this rotation that's going on. And I had mentioned this before, and it's one of the reasons why I spend so much time when I do my weekly overview. I discuss these stocks in great detail that we actually own or we are looking at that are either very important to the market or stocks that we might have missed on the way up, and on the way down we would like to put them in the portfolio. This is going to be a very important time to be looking at what is working in this particular phase. So when we go to what's working in this particular phase, we went to we went to SLX, which is the steel ETF. And that steel ETF is holding okay right now, but tariffs, and here in Australia, steel is a big deal. It is a really big deal. So they're very nervous about what's going to happen with the US and Australia in terms of the steel. But you can see that in the weekly chart, yes, the steel monthly chart went to a 75 round number high back in December. It's really unusual to get an ETF that's a composite to go to a round number, and it went to a round number 74, 75. It's pulled back, went all the way to 57 back in the 13th of January, and now it's rallying. So the fact that tariffs might improve U.S. steel stocks, I had a buy on this, and we've still got that as a long position, a small long position, but it's a work in progress. You can't just relate something that might be helped by tariffs. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's a work in progress. But I am saying that this is a period where you want to be looking at what are the potential areas that were very weak that could start to move up in 2025. So this is in our portfolio. It's a starter position. We might add to it, but this is what I'm looking at for 2025. What worked before in this big pullback, if the stocks or stocks or ETFs that held very well in this pullback, they could actually rally again in 2025 for the next big phase. So I'm just waiting for March, and we'll see if we get that buy signal in March.
Basil, fantastic analysis and info as always. We will, I guess we'll see you Tuesday.
Yes, Monday actually, but I'll see you personally on Tuesday for the interview.
Take care,
Thank you very much, Jacob.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We just had Basil Chapman on. It is always fantastic having him on. Again, I strongly recommend checking out that newsletter. That is the opening call newsletter right here on the newsletters tab at TFNN.com. One of the things I want to say, especially because, I know we've been having a lot of newer listeners. That's what's good about being in this business when the market is doing whatever the heck it's doing right now. So if this is your first time listening, you're not familiar with how it works, you can go ahead and get one of these newsletters. If it is your first time subscribing, we do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. If for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you, we were betting that it will. Additionally, he kind of touched on it a little bit, but he does these weekly, just deep form videos. I mean, I've seen some of them go for like an hour or something like that. And he deep dives into the stocks that are in that portfolio. I mean, hey, I really think that's fantastic value added. And then, of course, you get those great subscriber webinars. Talk about sector rotation for sure. Gold has held up significantly well. I know we have Tim Ord on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll have him on again Thursday, and he's been bullish on these gold miners for a long time. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Gold miners are going to be able to start. And listen, I wish I could remember the name right now. It's just an equity that a company that just reported, and they were saying even with the input costs for gold, that are definitely higher than they have been historically. They're making better margins with these kind of spot prices, right? So, I wonder if we really do start seeing, this is a nice movement today in the GDX. You're up 1.15%, but we're looking for, a massive, catch up essentially, right? What is up with that kind of disparity between the spot price staying elevated at these levels and then, the miners not necessarily moving as well? Now, some of the miners have really done not super well. Of course, you do have some miners that have exposure, silver as well, so on. Silver's been kind of lagging just a little bit, at least the miners have relative. Anyway, I wonder if we do start seeing this kind of rotation this year. I do think that your big momentum stocks are here to stay at these levels. I think Tesla still has something to go. I think you got Rocket Lab. This one's questionable, I guess, because I do think you're going to have some more investment in satellite. Look at ASTS. They just got a huge government bid today. I think it's rocking. Man, okay, yeah, no, it's not. You were a little bit higher earlier today, but you're trading up 3.25%. Still better than a lot of the market as well. This morning it was doing quite well. Miners are something that I want to take a look at. I, as a younger guy, am not necessarily... I've traditionally not been into miners at all, but I think you're going to get the sector rotation. And why not? You have these spot prices staying relatively high in gold. You're at 2,931 right now in gold. The miners could absolutely play today, or play this year rather. So anyways, that's kind of interesting to me. Part of me wonders as well, is if what Trump's trying to do is just like halt this thing entirely at some point, right? You get decreasing consumer sentiment. I mean, if you stall this economy out, Fed's definitely lower interest rates, no doubt, right? That rallies up. That's obviously something he wants to do. He definitely wants to give tax breaks to large business owners and the wealthy. So, I mean, that's one way you could try to look at that as well. But in the meantime, you're going to get a lot of pain. I mean, this talk with tariff wars, in Europe, I mean, that will stall things out. Canada, Mexico, these things stall out. What you're really hoping for is these countries or big economic zones to relatively quickly acquiesce, right, and remove some of their tariffs. And, I think Europe's not in a position, really, I don't think any of them are kind of in a position to have a trade war with the U.S., but, I mean, they could persist for some time and cause a lot of damage here, Point being, I don't think it's a good market right now or good macro conditions for momentum stocks or, let's look at Palantir. I mean, everyone's like, wow, I mean, we're really coming off today. You're trading at 89.29. You're still at 469 PE. Why? And I mean, you look even further at Tesla. Let's say you continue to get a depreciation in crypto. Let's say Bitcoin in particular. One of the contributing factors to anything positive in their past quarterlies, the most recent one, was the mark-to-market rating of Bitcoin. And one of the things I said was that if you get a report and crypto is down, this is going to look horrible. It's going to look very bad. Like I said, I'm still looking at 250 for Tesla. I think it's going to be sooner than May, to be honest with you. I mean, we might get this in the middle of March. We might get it next week, Anyways, these kind of equities are going to get cut. And I mean, listen, one of the things that is going to immediately confirm this is we look at NVIDIA. If you get earnings today and forward guidance is good, right? I mean, look, you're up 3.82% right now in NVIDIA. And things like Tesla and Palantir don't bounce back. That is your sign right there. Like, okay, right, all right, now we're going to be able to float the economy at least via NVIDIA and build out for AI and maybe robotics or whatever else they're going to try to feed us to keep this stuff moving to the upside. But if you don't get these bounce backs in these big momentum stocks, I promise you they're going to go much lower, much lower. I will be again today. I want to say, NVIDIA is going to come out with their numbers. We're going to go over that. I'm going to be live streaming after hours, TFNN after hours. It's not going to be as, I do kind of want it to be laid back, so business casual, maybe a bit more so than this show itself. But I'm going to be doing that in Discord. If you're not on Discord, you can go to the services tab right here on TFNN. Get that right there. It's $1 a year. We only do that so we know everyone who's on there. It is a fantastic room, fantastic suggestions. A lot of people discussing what they're doing during the day, long-term investments, short-term trading. It's fantastic, and I will try to get that up on YouTube. Strongly recommend checking that out. One of the things that I found kind of interesting is with these Chinese stocks is that they are getting a massive stimulus, okay, which I think is probably in part adding to a lot of this movement to the upside in these Chinese equities, but I mean, you're at 4.07% today in BABA. You have this via Bloomberg. China is about to inject at least $55 billion of fresh capital into several big banks, right? And that's going to float their economy. Massive stimulus package. This is about 1 trillion yuan of capital. I mean, hey, we know what happens with that, right? You get, even though it causes inflation at some certain point, you have equities moving up with that. I think what's really going to happen is the tariffs do kind of impact us and injure us, especially if the conflict is kind of protracted, right? The rest of the world continues to move on. We are still the strongest economy, but there are other active players. Europe has clearly woken up in the face of Russian invasion of Ukraine, America trying to disengage from Ukraine. That was a wake-up call for them. I really believe that. And additionally, like we've been talking about with China, they've had this kind of nationalistic revival or kind of birth, and they're becoming pretty dominant on a global scale, at least within their own country. They have such a strong economy, right? So at least a large one, right? You have growing middle class. So anyways, you get this massive stimulus into China, especially as America might be kind of floundering, right? Then hey, why not? I mean, these look attractive to me. I like Baba. I like BYD. I almost like Neo a little bit. Temu, you're looking at PDD, that can definitely benefit from a massive capital injection. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back for a short segment.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching The Tom O'Brien Show. We got a little short segment going on here before the end of the day. Again, we're going to be streaming the NVIDIA earnings. Look at this, man. I mean, so one of the things, the way the NVIDIA really started, right, was by making these GPUs for computers, and those are graphical processing units. That's for video games, right? I remember these guys being huge. It is so weird seeing how like this stuff is developed. You know, when I was a kid, I used to play video games all the time, and everyone wanted, when they were building their own, that became very popular when I was younger. You always wanted NVIDIA in there, right? And so they still do make those. I believe they just released the GeForce RTX 5080. And it's missing hardware, which has been really strange to me. Give me a second. Let me look this up. Now, of course, something to keep in mind is this is not really the point of NVIDIA any longer, but the render output unit is what it's missing. Gamers are very angry. You don't really want to tick off gamers just in the future if any of you run for politics or do anything. I really don't recommend doing that because they are a once bitten, twice shy kind of group of people. So I don't really get why that occurs, right? And does this start affecting other kind of products that NVIDIA has, right? You know, even if NVIDIA posts well for past quarter, what this really is dependent on, really this whole market for the most part, is forward guidance for NVIDIA, right? And this is some really, I think, some scary stuff when you stop paying attention to certain segments, you know, of your consumers. Are there going to be issues with Blackwell? You know, if there are issues with Blackwell and they're missing ROPs, you're going to have a massive problem. SMCI will tank on it. That's kind of the only reason why I'm still holding the puts, which are basically worthless now. You're still trading, you know, again, this is suppressed movement for SMCI. You had people looking at a $70 move posting the 10K. I don't know. I think it's bad. We'll talk some more about this, honestly, after the 4 p.m. stock market update. See you then.